Are we live? Are we
I don't know.
live? If we live, what's good, YouTube? Oh, we live. Hey, we live. I see the chat. What's good, Maze? What's good, Pain? You know what I'm saying? I'm here with
Mm,
Dustin. I'm here with
Mm.
Crook. You know what I'm talking about? We got to
mm.
talk about Boy to the Man, top 5 album of the year. You know what I'm
Top
saying?
five.
Top
I
5.
don't know.
Top
I
5.
don't know about that.
It's too low.
That's too low or
Nah,
too
that's too
high?
high. That's too
Oh,
high.
Well,
I ain't heard a lot of albums this year, but I don't top
I'm
five.
going. I'm going off. And the crazy thing is, I listened to a lot of albums this year. I think
You
I
had me top
listened
seven in
to.
the Morgan stream, so I went up.
Well, I said top 7 is going to be the bare minimum.
Oh,
I
okay. Yeah,
felt
you
that
did
like
say
that
that.
was like a projection. I felt that that's what it was going to be at. Looking at all the albums I listened to before, but I mean, it's still some albums left to go. We got that 21 Savage, Drake
Drake
joint.
oh yeah, they pushed that back, right?
Yeah,
next
November
Friday. Man.
4th. So
Drake know how to get you. Yeah, I'm gonna collab with somebody. And I'm gonna give you this mysterious ass little title. Her
yeah,
loss, nigga. Who niggas like. Niggas like her loss, like, come on, bro. Everybody gonna be listening to this shit. He didn't even have to have 21 Savage on. He could just been Drake, her loss. Niggas would have been going crazy. But 21 Savage is like an added bonus. I'm actually excited for it because of 21 Savage, honestly.
they got good.
Bro.
They got real good chemistry. Real good chemistry.
Yeah.
At
Like,
first, I looked at that. I was like, I don't really care. Then I looked at it again. I was like, anyone been killing though?
Yeah,
This
he
whole
been killing, bro.
year or
He
so.
needs like he needs a special like recognition, like separate from niggas. Like he really improved like to like a crazy level. Like it's crazy.
yeah. But Dustin,
And Crook doesn't like no heart, by the way. Just gotta throw that in there.
But yeah, I don't. Took me a minute. I'm like, what are we talking?
I can't. Not today. Not today. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
That's
Executive producer of the new album, everybody.
Hey man.
This can't
Bro,
be done,
stop.
bro. This can't be done. It's some shit like I don't need to know about Crook, man. I like the
Man.
idea of Crook more than Crook himself.
That's crazy.
That is,
Like the idea of Crook is like nice as hell, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I need to live in that fantasy for good.
Crook got his own little mystique thing going too. That nigga trying to be serious and shit too.
That's crazy, man. I just be doing my thing, man.
You see that nigga in Walmart? That's Crook. Like, nigga. Man, my bad. Go ahead. You hosting the shit.
All right, so Dustin, Boy to the Man. The first question I want to ask you, we're gonna start with a softball, man.
All right.
How you feel? Just in
How I
general.
feel?
Just in general. Just in general. Right now. At this moment.
Right now, coming off a hangover. But you just mean in general, like?
Yeah, just in general right
Oh
now.
no, I was talking to myself the other day, and I was like, bro, I don't think I'm happy, bro.
Why you say that?
Take it a step further. I don't even think I want to be happy. That's weird, right? Like, you know, like I don't know. It's like, it's just because like I feel like you doing. I was talking to Payne about this too, but I feel like you be, and I be looking at it, bro. Like I made a lot of progress just in my life in general. If I look, like even talking about this albums, me and Crook, we look where we started at. I was listening to some songs because I wanted to send you the songs that didn't make it, Sassy. But then I was listening to them and I was like, nah, I'm not sending them these songs. Like I only want to see songs. I was listening to Forget About Yesterday, Crew. I was listening to Snake and Lamb. I was listening to, and they wasn't finished. Like as far as like we needed, if we was going to put them on the album, we definitely had to re-record and do some more shit to them. But I was like, yeah, I see why these ain't make the album. Like, nah.
That's crazy.
Like,
I was thinking about them, but I haven't listened to them in a minute, so I wonder if I feel the same.
yeah, but I don't know, bro. It's like I guess because like the things I really want, because I feel like I get everything that I want, bro. Like even with like when I'm saying I want, like that I pray for, like my teeth was fucked up and I was bothering me, and like in a month I got new teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking like I big.
You gotta show it off to the stream real quick. You know what I'm saying? You got the pearlies, yeah. Shining, Chip
like,
Skylark, nigga.
I just had a job. Chip Skylark. Shout out to Chip Skylark. Here you go. He on that GOAT list, like Gary Oak, Chip Skylark, like the niggas that was that niggas in cartoons. Like he up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I had an interview today for like a third job where it's like I'll be doing like another 16, 24 hours a week because I want to, fund the next album. And I want to get a car. If I get this third job, which I'm probably gonna get it, but I'm not sure yet. But nigga, I can have a car next month. And it's crazy because one of my statements early in the year, like, I'm gonna have a car by the end of the year. So that'll be, that'd be like the showing. But I just like the thing that I want the most out of life is like I want to do this music shit at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Like the highest like level.
For sure.
And I want a family. And I feel like those are the two things that I like. Everything I get, I pray for. But like, I feel like, and I'm still young. You feel me? I'm 28. I got time. You don't know how life gonna go, but you just
got
feel
a lot
like
of time.
At the same time, you don't know how much time you got. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, everything happened in God's timing, right? But it's just like you just feel like, damn, is this shit? Am I gonna get this shit? Like, am I gonna look back in 5 years and am I gonna be where I want to or hope to be? Like the shit that I really want. So I mean, overall, I'm good, and but I feel like I be laughing and joking, but like, bro, I really be like, I don't know, I don't really think I'm happy, bro. But I feel like most people aren't really happy. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling. My bad.
Nah, it's just I think yo, I won't say it's necessarily an issue, but I think a lot of the times you like what's
hey,
good,
hold on, Raven,
what's
you
good,
black,
Raven?
You are,
He back.
Raven, you are
he
black,
back
bro.
in
You
black.
Are black. You're black today.
Yo.
You showed up hella late. I'm on the way.
Man.
Yeah. No, that I was reading the latest chapter of the Panty Note, and then I ended up knocking out. But I'm back.
Of who? Of the what?
Oh, you guys know the Panty Note?
Hell no, nigga. What is that?
That's like if you ever read the Death Note, it's like you know how like he could write the names in the book and then they die. This is like
panties?
Yeah, he writes the name of any girl in the books and he gets to like he gets to smash them or whatever. He gets to like manipulate.
Oh, that's
them.
manipulation.
But, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I was reading that shit and I ended up knocking out. But I'm back. I'm here. What's good? What's
Ain't
good?
No way, Panty Note. That's why you late. That's crazy.
And then he said that shit like that's some shit everybody reading week to week to.
Yeah, he said Panty Note. He said that motherfucker like it was natural.
Like y'all know Panty Note. Yeah, everybody know that. It was good, bro. We ain't even started on the album yet, but Satsuki he leading the thing.
Yeah,
hosting it.
I was just gonna say,
I feel like Satsuki is asked so many. I feel like he gonna really get into some shit.
I got a couple of things planned as far as the questions, but I just wanted to say real quick, like I think again, this is not necessarily an issue or a flaw. It's just I think maybe you have to like readjust sometimes with it. I think you look too far ahead at times, Dustin. Like,
you're right, 100%.
And
100%.
And it'll mess you up too because you're thinking about like you don't really get to see yourself in a moment short term because sometimes you just got to take little things at a time, and build towards something, and rather than just trying to say like because when you look ahead like that, it's kind of like you need something big to happen to be satisfied.
Mm-hmm. And then I probably still won't even be satisfied, low key. Like, because I'll be moving on to like, all right, what's the next?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the next? And I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to like enjoy these like just a day more, like fucking Friday today. Like nothing special got to happen today, but let me just enjoy today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, I feel that.
So, boy to the man, I want to ask you what was the idea for the concept? Like, how far did you envision this happening as far as making this album?
Shit, I've been thinking about, I knew I was going to do this album while I was still recording Demon Fighting.
Damn.
Yeah. That's how it is with my next album too. But, really it's funny because this album, the name of the album started from the bottom. When Drake says I always fuck with that line, I can turn your boy to the man. Like I feel like it was like a one liner, like just kind of like people would really read too much into that line, but I was like, why did he say that line? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was weird to me. I feel like he don't really say shit just to be saying it. And maybe he could have just been saying it to say it, but for some reason it kind of stuck with me. Like I always thought that that was just something about that line really resonated with me. And I was like, and I wanted to make an album like referencing that, but also like, show my growth, like from what I've been through growing up, and also just my growth in music. Because I feel like, to me, I feel like Boy to the Man is like a makeup for demon fighting in my mind. It's like, this is what demon fighting could have and should have been if I had all the tools, or had the more tools, and just, you know, if shit, you know, if I wasn't, because demon fighting was just me, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, getting beats off YouTube, you know what I'm saying? But Boy to the Man, I had a lot more help, you know what I'm saying? That's what every artist I feel like needs, you know what I'm saying? You need help. So it was like, all right, you know, I know what kind of music and what kind of artist I am, and I know what kind of music I can make, and I wanted to prove that. But we'll get more into that later. With this album.
I'm glad that you mentioned demon fighting, because that kind of leads into one of the questions I wanted to ask, which is what did you learn from this album, as far as you know, just being an artist? What did you learn?
Yeah, what did I learn? That's a good ass question. I learned how much effort it takes at any level to make an album, because we got to get studio time. Like I was telling Morgan, is like, I work with, my engineer is under another engineer. Like he works for another engineer, and then on his off time, the engineer lets him use the studio to work with like other people. Yeah. But during the week, they working on with that engineer. You know what I'm saying? Because like he worked with, like, he mixed up with Beyonce and Lana Del Rey and all shit like that. So during the week, they working on like music for labels. You know what I'm saying? Like actual labels, acts they trying to push and shit like that. And then on the weekends, people he fucks with, or people, you know, he trying to make some extra cash, he'll do them. So I got to work around his schedule. I got to work around my schedule. I got to work around Crook's schedule. You know, we got to come up. Then you got to be able to write the songs. You know, is this good? Is this, you know, do we like this? Could this be better? And we wanted to put this shit out last year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, so it takes I learned it takes a lot. Like, and then I think about it. That's why I kind of respect. I don't mean to reference him so much early, but I kind of got a newfound respect for Drake in that sense. I'm like, bro, he at the highest level. Imagine what that nigga schedule like, and he's still making music and putting albums out. Like, that's not, you know, whether you don't like the music or not, it still takes a lot to have the mindset of creating an album and finishing it and sticking through to it. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, I learned just how to, like, what really it goes into making an album. And I feel like this album really gonna help us on the next one, because, like, all right, we know what we can. I feel like we're gonna save a lot more time, because we like, all right, now we can do this. We did this before, so we can do this better. You know what I'm saying?
So we talked about this on stream before. The answer to this question is very easy, but I want a more personal answer for this. Okay. Because we understand the difference between an album and a mixtape, or I feel that most of us know what it is. What makes this an album and not just any other project? What makes this an album?
What makes this an album is that, for me, is that I feel like with an album, you had answered it pretty good too when you talked about it with Morgan. But I feel like I view an album as like a canvas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have this whole canvas, and we literally can do whatever the fuck we want to do on this canvas. Like, if I want to just throw some dirt at it and then that's it, I did what I wanted to do. Or if I want to get intricate and I want to use every inch of this canvas and really paint something or show something beautiful, I can do that too. So it's like, that's what I look at. It's like I start to finish, and, you know, just like, what are we doing? You know, it has a purpose. Like, everything has a purpose. Everything connects. Everything is, you know, it's not nothing wasted. And I feel like we did a really good job of that on this album, of just like, not even just the songs weren't wasted, but like they were actually good songs, but they were still true to what we were trying to get through to the album. Like, it's crazy, like, because it's one song, like, it's still stuff in the album that is like, I didn't realize what it meant till now. And I made, you know, I had a hand in making an album. So it's like at the end of Young Dro, that clip of my homegirl, had a conversation. Crook picked that clip. And I just liked the shit she was saying. But then when I listened to the song, I listened to the song the other day, and I was like, I started the song, birds of a feather betray each other, don't trust your brother, don't trust your mother, don't trust shit. And then the clip Crook chose, which she's talking about how she don't like telling her mom and dad shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, that shit didn't even hit me till like after the album's out. You know what I'm saying? So But yeah, I just think it's just, for me, albums, you as an artist, I feel like you should really be, even like Megan Thee Stallion's album, I feel like it's really, really good she put out, because she actually was, the name was a little weird, but she was really showed her trauma and personal shit, and she really made a good album. So, I feel like it shouldn't just be even you didn't even got to tell a story. You can, like, with the sounds of the album, you know what I'm saying? The sounds of the album could be something. But it's got to be something. It got to have some sort of direction. It shouldn't be just, all right, we made 100 songs and we picked the best 15.
For sure.
Even though people do that, and that's what you do. I mean, everybody do what they do. But I just feel like, for me, an album should be has more intent. Should be more intentional.
Yeah, I think with mixtapes and albums, mixtapes are more so, and this is not to speak of the quality, because the quality can be the same, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so an album has an intent, some type of direction towards it, whereas a mixtape is more a combination of just songs that you just put out. It doesn't necessarily have it doesn't have to be a conceptual thing or a thematic thing. It just it has something in mind.
And that can be freeing too, because you're like, all right, because I feel like with an album you put like it's a lot of focus it takes, a dedication. With a mixtape, because I got, with guys listening, I did that. I wrote that in a week. It's like, because I just like, all right, I'm not worried about trying to hit this certain mark or measure. I'm just really like, whenever I make I don't know if I'm make a mixtape again, or if I do an EP, or if we drop an EP before the next album or something, it'll just be some shit where it's like experimental. It'll be fun, and it'll be some shit where like I'm not worried about if people like this. Like with Boy to the Man, it was like, we wanted to make, we'll talk about that more later, but when Crook was first talking about it, I was like, we want to make an undeniable album. Undeniable in the sense of like, you can't hear this album and say this album is not good. Like, that's what we wanted to make. Like, you can't, you may not like it or you may not love it, but you can't hear this album and say, oh, this is not good. It's not a good album. And I feel like we both feel like we accomplished that.
Okay, so this next question is going to go to Crook. And then I'm going to ask a variation to Raven. But Crook, what made you want to take on the role as executive producer?
I don't know. I think for me, right, like, and I was talking to one of my homies about this. I always like listen to music like that. Like as a kid, I always used to listen to it and be like, damn, why didn't he put this song instead of in front of this song? Or why didn't he switch this out? Or, you know what I'm saying? I used to like pick at music whenever I listen to it. So when Dustin asked me, I was just like, oh, I can actually do that in real time. And I'm like, now I can see if the thoughts that I be having when I listen to music on my own actually apply in real time. So yeah, it was just like, and also apart from that too, like, so what I had understood, like from how I've seen Dustin like working on music, I was just like, he's somebody who like actually wants to make music. You know what I'm saying? Like he's very consistent in his effort. So I was just like, yeah, I felt like that was like a match made in heaven. I was like, all right, it makes sense.
All right, so the next question I want to ask to Raven is, what made you want to partially produce on this album?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get my camera on in a second. So, what the
Where are you?
Hey, yo, what
is what are we looking at?
Let me flip that. That's the other side of my laptop. Hold on.
My boy.
This is crazy. What's good, you guys?
What's good?
So, yeah, what made me want to produce on this album, I just, I really relate to Dustin's story. Like, because, I joined Freedom Stay a few years ago, met you guys, and I was listening to the streams of Dustin just talking about how, like, he was moving to a whole different city, chasing his dream and shit, and I really related to that. So just from the beginning, I I really felt like I connected to Dustin's story, his struggle and his passion for the music. And when he hit me up one day, like, he told me like, yo, someone told me you make beats. I forgot who it was that told him.
It was Chevy.
It was Chevy, yeah. Like, I think Chevy had told him that I made beats, so I was like, yeah, I make some beats. So I sent him a few samples. He was fucking with it, and then the rest was history. We just clicked. Like, he liked my beats. I was interested in learning like his style and what he was going for the album, and yeah, he hit me up for a few beats for this album, and I came up with a few sounds, and yeah, it was like it was like within a few weeks span, I just got a huge passion for the project because, I just like seeing artists that are completely in their zone, completely in their flow. Like Dustin, Payne, Chevy, like these are people that I like working with because they they are really like building something special with the music that they're making. I can tell they put a lot of passion in the project. They're not just like fucking around, and that's something that I value. That's something I noticed with Dustin. He's not fucking around, and that was something immediately that kind of got me up, because I can't get up for some dude that's like on SoundCloud. He could give less of a shit about like his music. Part of my French. He could give less of a crap about his music, and he's just hitting me up for some like some of the most basic beats I could possibly make. Like Dustin actually cares. Crook actually cares. They'll be like, "Yo, let's see what we can do with this beat. Let's see how we can make this better. Let's do a rewrite of it. Let's do a redo of it." And it makes the process a bit more special, a bit more personalized, and it's not just like, "Hey, here's $15 for a beat," and I just pump it out and they just take it and that's it. It just goes into the ether. Here it's like it's more thoughtful. We gotta take our time with it. And yeah, I just enjoyed the process with Dustin, man. It's just like just enjoyed the work. That's why I did it.
So I want to ask more about the process because it's something I'm interested in. I'm sure a lot of people watching would be interested in. Like, how does the whole thing of producer to artist go? Because from what I limited knowledge, I know there are times where you can just hear a beat from somebody and you say, I want to rap on it. I know there are some times where an artist can actually be there with the producer and they kind of work on it together. How did the process between y'all work exactly as far as what you selected to use and rap on? Like, how did that go?
Well, for this album, and Crook can speak to it too, we work with like how many? Like 6 producers? Something like that. 7 producers. And we just had people send us beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey yo, I want to pack. And then we'll go from like, all right, I like this beat, I can rap on it. Like I think was Childhood the first song that we even did for the album?
I think it's the first one I listened to. So
I think it was the first song we actually.
I don't think it was the first one we did, but I think it was the first one that we finished or that we liked.
Oh yeah, cause like when I heard that beat, same thing happened with Adapting the Crime. When I heard that beat for the first time, I like immediately got the hook. Like the first listen. So sometimes it happened like that. Sometimes like Amara, I was working on that song for like 2 months. Like I was like literally come up with a few bars, then I wouldn't touch it for a couple weeks, then I'll come back to it, like some more bars. But rest of it was kind of like once we got the 3-pack from my nigga Paradox, who did Death's Door and Chase It Boy. Because at that point, we was like, man, we got a good portion of the album done, but we still missing something. And then we got that pack. Because like we was already hitting Raven. Like Raven saved the album. Like he did so much of the album already. We was like, we don't want to keep going back to the Raven well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we got to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to go somewhere else. So I shout out to my homegirl Portia. She said her homie did beats. So like, at this, I'm just trying to check out anybody. And he sent me that 3-pack, and it was Death's Door. We liked all the beats through Death's Door, Chase It Boy, and there was another one, but I didn't end up writing to it. And that kind of just helped us finish the album. So it was just like we would just hit them up working because we working, everything's online. So hit Raven up. Raven, like I got you. He'll hit you back in like a week or so. He'll have like a bunch of beats, and you like tell me what you like, don't like. I'll go back or whatever. And usually most of the shit that Raven was saying, I would fuck with it like off rip. But Crook could probably speak a little bit more because Crook was more so working directly with Raven at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I remember the flow similar to I think it was flow similar to Outkast, right, Crook? That we did like, I think we did that song like about 4 or 5 times. We had to redo that thing
At least.
because like yeah, because we started off with a sample from another producer. Which is the that vocal type vintage type sound that you hear in the background.
Yeah.
And and it was in its original speed, right? So it's like fast. It's got a lot going on, and we wanted to do something like a DJ Screwed style, like chopped and screwed style. Like we wanted it to sound really slow, really like distorted, really gritty,
Yeah.
and so that was the first step, just getting the sample, like putting it through Serato Sample, which is the software I use to mess around with samples and stuff like that. I put it through Serato Sample, and I slowed down the tempo. I changed the key, pitched it down. I think 12 keys, and then we got something that sounded like what you hear in the product, in the finished product. And then we just put some drums on it, and I think that was what we had to keep like shifting through. We had to keep going through a trial and error on the arrangement, the drums, how slow we wanted it exactly. So yeah, man, it's a process. Like you hear the end result, and it sounds like easy. It sounds like yeah, you could just slap some drums on that shit, and it'll be okay. But it does take a lot of thought. It does take a lot of thought. You got to take the tempo into account on each beat too. You got to take into account how the rapper's going to ride the beat, how the rapper's going to flow to the beat, because whether it's going to be too fast, too slow. So that's all the things we took into consideration, and Crook was there every step of the way.
I guess I wonder if that was like kind of scary for Crook too, because that was the last Flow Some of the Outkast was the last record we did for the album, and they was chopping it up. So I was just waiting. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, don't send me no updates on it, because I don't want to fall in love with a part of it and then y'all change it. Just give it to me when it's finished. You know what I'm saying? So I was just going to work, working. Crook gonna update you when it's like an update. He ain't gonna just every step of the way. Like he'll let you know when it's time to know something.
Yeah.
So when he finally sent it to me, you gotta think about it. They chopped it up so many times. It's like, all right, now we do with it. Now it's up to him. You know what I'm saying? Like we passing it. And bro, I tell you, I think I sent that record back to Crook that day. I think.
I don't
or
remember.
either that day or the next day. I sent it back, and Crook was like, oh yeah, that you did that. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was like, because every time I send a record to Crook, I'm always like anxious, bro. I'm like, damn, what this nigga gonna say? Because Crook, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is he gonna do? Like, I'd be like, is he gonna be like, because especially if I really fuck with something, I'm like, man, I killed this, and I'd be like, but bro, if Crook come back and be like, nah, redo this line or redo this verse, or you know what I'm saying? Like even on the Mom and Pops record, I had an original hook for that. I just tried to keep it real simple on the hook, because I was trying to focus more on the verses. I thought the verses were so personal, so dope, that I had to do too much on the hook. I sent Crook that hook. That nigga said, nah, B, do better.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
And then I was, that's like a fire into me. Nigga, what?
Yeah.
Like, you do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, what? So I was like, I'm not going to sleep till I finish this. So I sent that nigga the hook that's on the album, and he was like, nah, that's a hook. You know what I'm saying? He was like, that's a hook. That's what I'm talking about. So that was dope.
This is not really a question. This is more of an observation. I think that like y'all relationship, as far as like, doing executive producing and rapping, it worked so well because for you, Dustin, I think you don't take shit personal a lot of the times. Like you'll just, when someone's just telling you something for the good, for the good of advice. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's a lot of people that may take like certain criticisms or whatever someone is saying and try to take it to heart, or they'll be very like what's the word I'm looking for? They'll just be stubborn in what they're trying to do. Be like, nah, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be wondering that honestly, because there's some times where it's like with both of y'all. I'd be like, there's some times where I'm just like, I hear something, because even like as to Raven said, like you would think it's simple, right? And there'd be some times where I have an idea for something, or I'll think it'll go one way, and then when we get the end product or get like either Dustin sends me the verse or Raven sends me the update, I'm like, not like that though. And I'm like, damn, is nigga gonna be offended when I be like, not like that though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, I do take shit personal though. It's just that I take I don't usually like go off the handle. Like I'll think about it and I'll think about why I took it personally. And then most times once I think about it, I realize that the shit is not personal and I'll try to like understand what somebody's trying to tell me. But I'm a sensitive ass nigga, so I definitely will take like some shit. They be like tore up about it.
At least you try to reflect on it a little bit. Some people don't even get to that stuff. Some people don't get to that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not reflecting, I don't know what you're doing. You gotta reflect, bro. Like you ain't going nowhere. You ain't reflecting.
So this is gonna be a question for all y'all. If you could choose one song on the album, let's say Radio, one song on the album, you know for sure this song is going to be played on the radio for everybody to listen to. This doesn't necessarily mean it has to be your best song, just the song you believe the people will resonate with, and they'll go, all right, I'm gonna listen to the album. What song are you choosing? I want to start with Dustin.
Shit, probably none of them.
None of them?
Yeah. I don't think. Well, that's just me. I don't like. It's hard for me because the shit is so personal, and it's crazy because like my sister, she was crying when she was listening to Mom and Pops, and it's like that shit. Like I'm so indifferent to those reactions because it's like, well, for one, I be kind of like out of my body sometimes. Like I don't really be like. For one, I wouldn't be believing people, but that's just because I'm so jaded. But then I'd be like, really? I don't believe somebody could like if you told me I cried to a Donald Glover song or something or any other artist, like I wouldn't even question you. Like I'll believe it. But when it's me, I'd be like, nah, I don't think so. Or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm slow to believe it. But if I guess maybe if I had to choose, I'd say Childhood, maybe.
Okay.
Or Chase It Boy, because I feel like that's a really emotional verse. But I really don't think. You talking about for radio? Radio Outcast, because that's the song that we put out. I feel like that's the song that I feel like will represent the album and like will get people's attention that fuck with my music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm more interested in their answers though.
I put it in the sphere of radio, but I just mean more so like this is an album a casual person, whatever, just listening, they hear it and you think it will resonate with them the most. That's more so where I'm getting at. But Raven, what about you?
I think probably the intro, man, because that intro goes hard. Like,
appreciate you, bro.
It's it's because when you first listen to an album, right? Like, you want that intro to kind of put you in the mood. You want it to set the tone for like what's to come, and that's what it does. Like, it starts off and the beat is like boom, like, and it's
beat
crazy.
Goes hard, nigga.
Yeah, all the stuff that's going on in the beat is like there's so many different instruments and the drums are crazy. And then Dustin comes in with some crazy lines. I forgot what the line was, but it was something like what happens when the person who hates you happens to be your own dad. Living is so sad. Like it's like stuff that's personal, but it still goes hard. And like the flow was hard on that line. Like if there's one line I remember from the album is that line, like that I'm always listening to, and I'm like, oh man, that's a Dustin line. That shit was crazy. Like when I heard that shit in the first on the first listen, that just stayed stuck with me. And I think it's a faster beat too. It's like it's something more up tempo and something that like a lot of people could listen to, and they'll be like you could bump your head to also, even though it's like still getting deep and it's not just like commercial rap where you're just talking about like popping doing poppers, popping mollies, and the Dracos and the Uzis. Like,
yeah,
he's getting in depth, but he's still dropping some gems there. So yeah, I Baptized by Fire. I like what is it, 3200 Rosedale too.
Mm-hmm.
The feature on that was crazy as well.
Crazy.
Yeah, just the way that it starts off, kind of more slow, and then it ends up like more fast. It's a beat.
You produce both those beats. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's talking like he didn't produce those beats.
Shout out to Raven, man. Shout out to Raven.
I want to say before Crook, I want to say about Baptized by Fire too. It's crazy because like this is what Crook surprised me sometime during the album, because like we wanted to do a more elaborate intro. Like we wanted to have like a beat switch, like a longer record. That's what Crook wanted to do. But like usually when I make a project, I usually make the intro to be the first song I make. But like we was like a few songs in and I still haven't had the intro or the outro. and we didn't know how we wanted to do it. Like we knew what we wanted to do, but we didn't know how we was gonna do it. And then Raven sent Baptized by Fire, and then I recorded that, and I was like, bro, this got to be the intro. I was like, but dog, I feel like Crook gonna fight me. I feel like, bro, because it's one of the moments I was like, I don't give a fuck what Crook say. This got to be the intro. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I gotta be ready to fight this nigga because I feel like he ain't gonna be going for it because he got a whole different vision for the intro. So I asked him, he was like, I bet. That's what he said. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I got myself all hyped up. Like, we about to fight over this. And he was like, nah, man, sometimes you just gotta let the artists do what they, you know, what they want to do. I was like, all right, bet, because I was gonna fight you, nigga, about this. Go ahead, Crook.
As far, you know what the funny thing is about that Baptized by Fire one? I didn't even remember that beat because me and Raven were working on something. I can't remember what kind of song we were working on, but he sent me Baptized by Fire and he asked me what I thought, and I was like, I'm okay on it, but I think Dustin will love that one. And so,
yeah, I love that. That's my type of beat, nigga. That shit was hard.
So Raven was like, what you want to do? And I was like, all right, just keep it in the tuck and let's keep working on this one. And I completely forgot about it. And then one day Dustin hit me up and he said, oh, yo, Raven said, should he send the beat that he kept in the tuck for us? I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then boom, we got
Thank God song. Raven did that.
Which one was that one?
Baptized by Fire.
Was
it that or was it God and Myself?
It was not. I don't know. I can't remember what the song we were actually working on was that we like came out with. But Baptized by Fire came in between it. Like as we were working on that song, he sent me Baptized by Fire.
Okay,
that's crazy.
I want to read some of the chat a little bit. Vash, it's funny because you told us about this on stream, but Vash asks, who produced New Jersey 15? The beat was smooth.
Oh, that's it's co-produced by Ray because it's this girl in Townsy Discord. Her name is Shadow, and I met her through there. She was like, the song was called New Jersey 15 because she was 15 at the time when she made the beat, and she's from New Jersey. So I just thought it'd be like a dope artistic thing to have, you know what I'm saying? Like name it after, like pay homage to her in that kind of way. Because she's young, she's black, and she's talented. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if we support people like that, like they could really be like, you know, we got so many young black kids out there that's doing dope shit. And I was paying her. I was like, you know, I was giving her like $10 a beat, but you know what I'm saying? But I was still paying. Like for her, that was a lot. She went and got a bank card so she could get them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot for her. So I was giving her that. But she was making the beats on her phone and she couldn't get the stems off of it. And I was like, I love this beat, but bro, I gotta have stems for all my beats on my projects. We ain't going back to that MP3 file shit. So I hear Raven. I was like, Raven, are you able to recreate this? And he was like, yeah, I can recreate it. So he recreated it. And it's a little bit, the tempo is a little different, or like the vibe is a little lighter than the original beat was, but it's still all the same sounds. So yeah, Raven co-produced it, and like, you know, he added some, and without New Jersey 15, there wouldn't even be Summer Leaves. That's because of Crook. Because Crook is like, I actually have a third verse in New Jersey 15. The verse is cool, but
lost third verse.
Yeah, Crook made me. He made me write that verse. Like, nigga made me write that verse. I did not want to write that verse, bro. That nigga Crook was like, nigga, write this verse, nigga. Like, he made me write that verse. But if I didn't write that verse,
the deluxe comes out. One day when the deluxe comes out, niggas gonna hear it. Gonna
said deluxe.
Nah, the deluxe is never happening. I heard the songs that would be on the deluxe, and I'm like, no, I don't want to ever fucking revisit them songs again. But yeah, because before I had my third verse in New Jersey 15, Raven does like a beat switch, but it's like it's not a complete beat switch. It's still the same beat. It just evolves, and the third verse comes on, and then the beat switches to Summer Leaves. It's supposed to be like one long ass track, but then we ended up splitting it up and cutting out the third verse. But yeah,
nice.
But yeah. Okay. Are we done with that question?
Yeah. So the next question I want to ask is, or more so, did your initial vision for the album change as you were making it? Like, because I'm pretty sure you talked about how you wanted to do this since Demon Fighting. Like, as you were making this, did the thought of the album change as you were making the songs?
the core concept was still always the same. But I remember when I first after I first asked Crook and he agreed to it. I remember like when we first talking about the album, like what we wanted to do with it. I was like, all right, I want every song to be a mirror of another song. Like I want the intro to be the mirror of the outro. I want the second track to be the mirror of the second to last track, third track, so forth until they meet in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of want them to some shit like that. And then it was like, bro, and we got to a point like, bro, we this is like a safe album. That may be weird to say, but like this album, I wanted to be like niggas to be like, oh yeah, Dustin can rap, Dustin can make music. That's why you're not hearing me do a lot. I'm not trying to sing. I'm not trying to push the boundaries in those other you just like, I wanted to rap and I wanted to tell my story and I wanted to make good rap songs. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to do. So like the next project, the doors open. You know what I'm saying? We gonna try to do a lot of different shit, but yeah, with this we just wanted to make like a safe album. Like this album is good. You can, if you like rap, most 7 times out of 10, you'll probably fuck with this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know if Crook answer is different, but I don't really think the core, like the album changed. Like as far as the whole Boy to the Man, it was always the same from the beginning. I think we just made it easier on ourselves. Like we're not gonna try to do too much. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga, I want to make sure like the basics. Like I want to make sure I got a good jab. I want to make sure I got a good right hand. You know what I'm saying? Before I start doing all these crazy combos and shit later on. I get my foundation straight.
At what point do you think you decided that you was going to go in that direction?
For what?
To
like what you mean?
To make it, as you said, like more safe.
Probably like shortly after I told Crook that original idea, it was like, because we were trying to figure out like how to make that. Like once we pitch an idea, like usually Crook thing is like, all right, how do we make this real? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like how do we actually actualize it or make it real? So I was like, all right, it feels like it's getting in the way of the music. So let's just make it more general. So it can make making songs easier. Like I don't want to think, like, I know it's kind of crazy to say, but I don't want to be thinking too much while I'm making these records. You know what I'm saying? Like I should be able to just, like I should be, because my favorite part of making music is always the writing. Like the recording is cool, but the write, like when I'm writing a song, like what's the next bar gonna be? How I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my favorite part. So that's when I get the most enjoyment from. So just I wanted to just enjoy. Like I also want to make a good project, but I also wanted to enjoy making the project. And I feel like if we try to put too many like stipulations on it, it would have kind of got in the way of the album. I don't know how Crook feels about that.
As far as that, I don't know. I think that in the midst of the recording process, we kind of like we started to realize, because we were just going through so many beats, and it was kind of getting hard to keep. Maybe not, I want to say keep track of it, but just like to keep like a central theme throughout all of these beats and songs that we're starting to make. Like if I really think about it, like the first maybe like 4 songs we recorded, I think 4 or 5, like we only kept Childhood. I think it's like it took us so much time to kind of like get towards where we wanted to, and so we had to start to try and like take off some of the restrictions that we had on what the idea of the album was going to be, and try to just execute.
Yep. And that was like my main thing. I was telling Crook, I was like, bro, we can fail. Before this album comes out, we can fail as many times as we want to. We got unlimited failures. You know what I'm saying? It's just me, you know what I'm saying? We can fail, but when we make sure when it's out, we got to make sure we have no regrets about it. No, like, I wish we, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to feel like we did everything we could to make the best. Because, once it's out, it's out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, literally, like, a couple weeks before, I took a song off the album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, and that was a great decision. I ain't gonna hold you. Taking that song off. So,
okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be a question for all y'all, and I want to start with Raven. What was, you would say, like the most fun in doing this? Like the experience of having a hand in this album? Like it could be, you making a certain beat. Like what was the best process, you think?
Man, when Dustin hit me up for this album, he told me he needed I think it was I think it was 5 or 6 different types of beats, something like that. And he had an idea for each of them. So he wanted me to do one that was a sample, one that was like I forgot what it was, like slow, one that was fast, one that was like more like old school,
I
and one
remember
that
that. I
was like
forgot.
my style. Yeah, I forgot how many like styles he wanted me to do, but we did all those styles, and that's what was most fun to me, because when Dustin hit me up, he wanted a variety of beats. He wanted like you could just tell he was trying to something new. He was really trying to push himself, push his sound, and really trying to like develop something different for himself. And that pushed me, because I started pumping out those beats like crazy. I was like, I think I did 2 beats like in the span of a few days. I sent it to him, and yeah, like I man, working on those beats was, it was a learning experience for me too, because I don't have any type of like official training as a producer. I never went to music school, never did anything like I always had the dream to be an artist myself, to be a singer myself. So like but I never went to school for it. So I didn't know anything about producing, like I'd say about like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And so
That's crazy.
I decided to make the leap. I had no money. I ended up saving up for like a few months, and I bought myself a MacBook Pro. Um I saved up a few paychecks, got myself that laptop. I ended up getting myself Logic Pro, which is a music producing software, and I started just watching YouTube tutorials and just experimenting, making the type of music that I wanted to make as an artist, through trial and error. Eventually I started putting out some music on SoundCloud and stuff like that, which I'm sure you guys have heard, like I think a year or two back. Um, and it was around that time that I was at a pivotal point, and Dustin hit me up for these beats, and little does he know, those beats that he hit me up for, I think they really marked like a pivot in my quality as a producer. I feel like I learned a lot on this project, and in that span of time, I was getting hit up by a lot of people to make beats. Him, Chevy, some people I knew in New York, some people from the UK. I think Chancel V as well, who he also worked on the album. So
Mm.
I was just getting an influx of beats, where like to where I was before this, I was just working on beats for myself, for my own music, for like pop R&B style type music. And then all of a sudden I get an influx of like rap beats, rap beats. We want this shit to go hard. And it just pushed me. And especially with Crook, that's why I appreciate Crook, because Crook, he thinks I'm gonna be tight if he keeps like saying like, oh, like we need to redo this, just redo this ain't right. Like he was like, yo, thank you for this, man. I'm sorry we had to redo this again. I'm like, no, bro, you don't understand, Kirk. Like that helped me so much, to where like now I'm so comfortable making a beat, like it doesn't even, it's like secondhand nature to me now. So yeah, man, that was the most fun, because it was a learning process, and it really helped me perfect my craft, I feel.
I like that about Crook too, because Crook ain't gonna let some shit skate. If he got the tiniest little thing, he ain't gonna let it. He be like he'll at least point it out and be like, you know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
why I wanted him to produce my album with me, because I needed somebody to give me pushback, to challenge me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. You can only challenge yourself so much. You feel me? You might let yourself off easy, and some even without knowing you're doing it. But with Crook just being that other voice. And it even got to a point in the album where he wasn't even like really pushing back anymore. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I knew we was really onto something. Because at first he was like telling me to change his line, change his verse, change his hook. And then it got to a point where I was like after we really got deep in the album, it was like, oh yeah, I sent him a song, like, all right, this is good. You know what I'm saying? Like that is no, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, cause I'm anxious into that nigga some shit. To this fucking day. What this nigga gonna say? But yeah.
All right, Crook, what was in your mind the most fun experience in having a hand in this album?
Damn, that's hard. I think it was, I don't know, it's somewhere in that beat making process. I think actually, you know what I'll say is like when there was like a point in time like in the beginning stages when we just had a lot of we had a lot of beats and we were just kind of every few weeks we would like steadily get like a package or one random beat or something like that, and just being able to go through the beats and Dustin will write some verses to him, go through the verses, and like, you know, just that process of just kind of like listening over and over and just trying to figure out what's what. Like, do I like it? Do I not like it? Does this work? Does it not work? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even better, like some of my favorite parts is like we'll have a beat or we'll have like a verse or something like that, and it'll literally be like I'll be there. I'm like, why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? Why doesn't this work? And I'm like looking at it. I'm listening to it over and over again. And then I'll hit like either Raven or I'll hit Dustin. I'll be like, can we change these drums or can we take out this line and try it like without that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes off, I'm just like, I knew it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like that period in the writing phase and in the beat making phase. That was very fun.
Okay.
I got a story about that too, because the song Young Dro, it was I originally rapped that with more like emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a version, me and my engineer, and I did a take that was so dope to me. It was great. It was so much emotion. I sent it to Crook, and Crook was like, it's dope, but can you do it monotone? I was like, nigga, what?
I think
So
it worked well.
like,
I think it worked well too with it.
But let me tell you though, because I'm like, bro, this nigga, because I'm saying I'll be in the studio, I'll be like, this nigga Crook tripping, bro. Like, you want me to do a monotone? Like, I just sit there and did this whole emotion. You know what I'm saying? I left it all on the court. You feel me?
Yeah.
And this nigga tell me to do it monotone, like the complete opposite of what I'm doing. So I go in there, I do a take. He's like, no, bro, monotone, like birds of a like literally, no, like I'm saying, I'm like, bro. I'm like, all right, nigga. So I'm going. I'm mad. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm almost being like an asshole when I'm recording. Like, I'm gonna do this
recording
shit
out
so
of spite.
And then we record it, and then I'm listening to it. I'm sitting on the couch. My engineer's playing it before we send him to Crook. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, fuck. He was like, what? He was like, what? I hate when this nigga's right. It was good.
I could understand you have a pushback towards that too, because it's like as an artist, like someone telling you to take passion out of a verse or something, it sounds counterproductive, right? It's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? But I think how that verse is done, it worked well. With just the beat and the mood too, it worked well.
You know,
that beat is hard.
About it is like when I got those, I had the idea for two like sampled records on the album, but I thought that it would be like a cool like way to break up the album. And then as I was kind of like we got the first beat that was Young Dro, and then in my head I was just like, all right, so where can I take this? And I started listening to like a whole bunch of like 3-6 Mafia, like DJ Screw stuff, and I was just like, all right, we got to figure out a way to make this kind of like turn this back to like some old, like maybe not like turn up, but like in that kind of direction. So eventually when I got the verse from when Dustin finished the Young Dro verse, I was just like, oh, we got to pitch this down like a DJ Screw and then have it come in like mad monotone. And then once I eventually got the sample for Outcast in my head, I was thinking again, I was like, all right, and this is gonna be the chop and screw type beat. And so it's just funny, like those are my favorite moments when like the idea works out.
Okay.
Yeah, that was dope.
What about you, Dustin? I know you said the writing process was what you relished the most.
Enjoyed the most?
Yeah. Well, what specifically? Like it could be like a specific song that you wrote. Like what was the most fun in doing this?
Baptized by Fire was up there because I said some really like, that's one thing I feel like I mean, it could just be me. I even feel like Crook do. I feel like people underappreciate my bars. Like, or they don't highlight it enough. Or they be like, yeah, we know you dope with lyrics. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to be more like this. I want you to make more fun records. Yeah, we know that's a given. You gonna be dope. I'm like, but bro, it's still some dope ass bars though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like this shit. You feel me? Like, you feel me? So I feel I was saying some crazy shit in Baptized by Fire. Even the way I ended it was like, you know, asking myself stupid shit like, what would Jesus do? I feel like that was a dope line. But that hook on God and Myself, I feel like that hook is fucking crazy, bro. I love that hook so fucking much. Like, I love that hook.
I think that's Morgan's favorite song. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he said number 3. That's his favorite. But yeah, that hook is so fucking crazy. Like, it's one of the best hooks I feel like and it's crazy. Like, we only got 3 hooks on the album, I think, Crook. And I think each of the hooks are dope. Childhood is a really dope hook. Cause I didn't even think Satsuki mentioned it. It was like niggas be underrating my hook game, bro. Like, I be writing some dope ass hooks when I be writing hooks. But I think because they just not like I haven't really done like a poppy one yet, unless you like consider She Say something like that. But yeah, I love that God and Myself hook. I love that shit a lot. That beat was crazy.
I think writing hooks is like one of the most underappreciated things in rap, because everybody sees it as just like it's the thing that you repeat the most. People thinking it's not really much thought into it, but it's really hard to just come up with something that's supposed to catch in everybody's mind. As people are supposed to, that's the thing that you're supposed to remember. You're supposed to remember the verses too, but that's the thing that you're repeating the most, and it's hard to kind of.
Because when you write a hook, your mind got to go in a whole different pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got to go in a whole different pocket when you write a hook.
All right, so I want to go through all the songs as far as the titles.
I was hoping you were gonna do that.
Yeah, I want to ask you about all the titles. Okay. Track number 1, Baptized by Fire. What's the idea?
Well, a lot of these, I think every song is I come up with it's kind of like how Morgan picks it, like not exactly how Morgan picks his podcast names, but usually the song will come, the title will come from something I wrote in the song. Usually, I think usually. So Baptized by Fire was just from that line. When I said Baptized by Fire, I felt like that line, like that was the song. Like that was once I heard that line, I was like, that gotta be the name of the song, because it's like that whole song I'm talking about the shit, like nigga, the shit I had to go through to be who I am, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was, and I like the name. It was this is a dope name, Baptized by Fire.
So you would say like most of the songs you pick the titles like retroactively, like you. Okay. So what would you say was the song that? Because you said not all of them. So what was the song you?
I got a funny one about because it was a point in time, right, where I wanted Crook because we was working on the album together, and I wanted Crook. I was like, all right, Crook, I want you to pick some of the track names. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like it'll make him like closer to some of the songs or whatever. I'm scared when this nigga has a child, bro.
This nigga, bro.
Because I don't know what he's gonna name. Because this nigga cannot name shit, bro. Like, I had him do God and Myself, right? Guess what he wanted to call this fucking song? He wanted to call it Rising Action or like Exposition.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
Nah.
You not feeling it?
The idea, like I said, the idea of Crook is like something crazy, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like the way I be thinking, I be like, yo,
yeah, that's crazy.
Crook is like a dope ass nigga, bro. And then y'all keep like y'all ruining this nigga low key. Stop telling me about crazy. Crook, the real Crook.
Pulling the curtain back. Because I was like, nah, Crook, I'm not rolling with that. I'm like, we gonna call it God and Myself. He was like, oh yeah. That works.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
This was funny, man.
Hey, man. They only count the misses.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy.
He's not lying.
Niggas treat him like Ben Simmons and shit.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
DJ H said he listening to the album right now as we speak. He said,
shout out to you, my nigga.
What track are you on? That's what we want to know. Rex says, sound like Crook. Shaking my head.
Sound like Crook. You know, Rex, I was going to pop out the shit on
my
head.
Yeah, man.
That nigga the president of the Crook Hate Club.
Yeah.
All right. I wanna. This is my favorite song on the album. So
Mom and Pops.
So I gotta ask the story behind that, because when you said it before we listened to the album about how you didn't want it but Crook fought for it, I was skeptical. I was like,
that's crazy. Look at how they doubt me, man.
I'm not gonna lie, I was skeptical. And then I listened to
Niggas skeptical of Crook because of that Kanye comment. Niggas never him to that.
That's what it is. That's really what it is, to be honest. That's really what it is. But then I listened to it. I listened to the album maybe, I want to say three different times, and then I just walked away. I'm like, Mom and Pop's probably my favorite track on this album. I can't believe Dustan wanted to lead this off the album. So I gotta know the story behind that. Like, why did you not want to have it on the album, and why did you fight for it so hard, Crook?
And I'm over exaggerating when I say he fight for it so hard. It was like, I want to take off lights different, and he was like, I like it, but I'll consider it. Let me listen to it, and I'll get back to you. And then when he was like, we agree to it, I was like, I think I want to take off Mom and Pops too. Crook was like, all right, hold up.
You wildin', boy.
Like, hey, hold on. Like, but shout out to Darius. Darius produced that. Darius made a lot of beats for us too. And it's just that. He on his own doing his own shit, but he still be on like IG and shit. But it was just like a lot of Darius made some dope beats, but it just wasn't like, it was kind of, I felt like, I think I'm learning with Darius, like I don't really fit so well on his type of production, I feel like. But I like that beat, and I got some real personal verses out of it. But I still felt weird about the beat, because I feel like when that song comes on, it's like a tone shift in the album. It's right after Death's Door. You're coming off that high energy of Death's Door, and then that tone kind of shifts. And I feel like that works good for it too. But I just felt like people wouldn't care about what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the shit was just so personal. Like, those are like real moments in my life. And I feel like a lot of people might just get bored listening to that song. So that's why I was trying to think more so for the sake of the album than just what I liked. So I was like, yeah, we could take that off. But like a lot of people, he was like, that's his favorite track on the album. Like a lot of people, like, I'm like, y'all niggas bugging. This is not like, like, no, like Summer Lee's, they're talking about Fire, Death's Door. Like, you talking about this? Y'all favorite track? I'm like, man, what these niggas sipping on, bro? Like, Crook said some of his people in real life, like, they saying that's their favorite track. I'm like,
yep.
I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, this is a conspiracy, my nigga? Like, what's But yeah, that was my side of it. Crook tell his side of it.
For me, I don't know. I feel like I do remember like when in the earlier stages of the album, like I was giving Dustan like prompts and stuff for like what to write about, stuff like that, because I was trying to like, we were recording songs and I felt like we were getting to a point where I was like, oh, this is a cool song, but I don't know if it fits the idea of the boy to the man. So I was like, all right, we'll try to be more on focus. And then Dustan hit me one day and he was like, oh, I'm writing a song, and the song had a different name. It was like
My Parents Don't Love Me. That was the original name.
My Parents Don't Love Me. And so I was like, all right, cool. And when he sent it to me, I was like, all right, cool. This fits like the idea, and it's like really, I don't know, it's really like elaborate. Like it has like a full story in it. So flash forward to now towards the end of the album, like even throughout that process, I feel like I could say Mom and Pops and the outro were the two that like kind of were closer to like that more like I don't know if it was closer to, but I just remember like those are like the ones that I was like, all right, I felt more comfortable going into the rest of the album, because like, all right, we have him talking about his story. But so yeah, now when he came to it and he was like, I want to take this off, I was like, all right, hold up, because at that point, what's the album? What's the boy to the man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to like finish the album where we just kind of alluded to a lot of feelings and spoke about like, reflecting on stuff instead of without like actually telling you about like specific things that are personal to you. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like that was like the biggest one to kind of that like childhood was another one that came out during that time period. It was just like, all right, we have to actually touch on that concept of, you know, Boy to the Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And it makes sense because like I alluded to my parents a lot, but in that song I got into it, into it.
Yeah, that track was a lot more on the nose than the other tracks. But I think that's probably why it was my favorite one, because it was not to say the other stuff wasn't open, but that one was the most open. I think you were on the album. You know. So the next question I want to ask you is like how did you arrange this album? Like, what was the idea between how you place the tracks?
I think Crook was mostly responsible for the arrangement of the tracks. Correct me if I'm wrong, Crook. I feel like it was just a few songs that I was like, all right, this has to go here. Like, you can do whatever you want to, but like, this got to go here. This got to go here. You know what I'm saying?
If you remember, you was like, all right, you picked a day and you was like, all right, we both gonna come up with our own order.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and we'll show each other. And when we showed each other, it was like pretty much the same, but we had like a few like differences towards like the second half of it, like middle second half, I think. And then we kind of just went through listening to it the way each other had it, and then maybe like 2 or 3 more changes after that. Then we had the album order.
Okay, that's
like we knew In My Childhood was gonna be, even before we had the intro, we knew In My Childhood was gonna be the second song. We were like, it feels like a second or a third type of song of an album. So we knew that early on. But everything else we kind of just came up with like at that time, like at the end, like, all right, how we got to actually just put it together. We had the clips that we wanted to put in, and we just kind of wanted everything to kind of blend, kind of be cohesive. You know, we didn't want to just be like, okay, here's another song, here's another song, here's another song. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question I want to ask: what was the catalyst for you to start this? I know you talked about, like you said, you had this idea for a long time, but what was the step, or what was the thing that made you want to set everything into motion? Was it just the money and everything, because you know you had to get studio time and all that stuff? What exactly was it that sparked you to go, I got to make this album?
I think it was after I finished God Listening, and I feel like that project was important for me just because I was able to kind of just grow, and like I made some songs that I really like to this day off that, but it still wasn't where we wanted to be sonically. And I just think it was time. It was like, all right, because you know, it takes a lot to commit to an album. So it was just time for me. It was like, all right, because like to me, music goes with my life, bro. Like making music, listening to music, they just go with my life. Like I feel like, what am I doing in life if I'm not making an album, or I'm not making a song, or I'm not making a project? You know what I'm saying? Like at this point in my life, like growing up, it was like, all right, I'm listening to music. I need to be listening. I'm listening to this album, listening to this Wayne album, listening to this, you know, this project or that project coming out. But now it's like, all right, next 2 years, you know, or however long, like, yeah, I'm going to work every day, but what am I doing this shit for? Like, I ain't got no kids, I ain't got no wife, no shit like that. So like, I need to, you know, and music is what I love to do. So I'm making an album. Like that's something that I'm like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going back to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we working on this album. We working on this. So the catalyst was just, it was just time. It was just like, all right, it's, you know, it's time to start making this album.
Okay. This next question. You are pretty transparent. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I can be. To a fault sometimes too.
What do you think?
They start lying to niggas.
Please don't turn to Morgan. Please don't turn to Morgan. That nigga is ridiculous.
That's fucking Morgan.
Was there any point in the album where you felt like you were oversharing, or you felt like, I don't want to reveal this about myself?
It's crazy because I never feel like that. Like, sometimes I don't even be thinking like, I'm like, damn, how I never really thought like, damn, how would my mom feel or how? Because I remember it was a song that I had released, and and my mom had said something about it to me, and I told Crook, I was like, my mom don't like this song, and then Crook was like, wait till she hear the album. Like, nigga, if she don't like that, but it's like that's my lane as an artist. I feel like, because I was talking to some people like Rex and Zypher, people who don't really fuck with my music to that extent, or they more so. We're not even really Zypher. Zypher don't, because Rex fuck with me as a person. Zypher, we just kind of cool through the community type shit. But they be like, I want you to do more like fun records, more this and that. But it's like, and I will, but it's like, I feel like I can do that and still stick true to who I am. You know, and that me is telling how I like to speak how I feel. Like this music shit for me is like one of my favorite lines on the album is like, you know, hope this shit that I write makes sense of my life. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, actually, nah, I mean, fuck that shit. Just give me a bad bitch. I'll be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even give a damn about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do, but I don't. So it's like, yeah, I'd like this shit to get thoughts out. Like, help me, you know, because sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm talking to somebody, like, if I'm going through something and I hit Crook up for his opinion or Payne or Rex, or just I'm talking to somebody in general, you know, sometimes they'll understand, or sometimes, like, they won't really understand. And your message might get, the shit you're trying to get across, it may get misunderstood or misinterpreted. But I feel like when I make a song, I can say exactly how I want to say, the way I want to say it, express it the way I want to express it without anybody else's like interruption. So that's why I'm always be transparent, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting my thoughts out, getting my feelings out, and I'm getting it out through song. But the only thing that's really gonna change is like the sound or like how we present it. But it's, you know, I don't ever feel like I can't make a song like, you know, even like, you know, the song I did with Loner is gonna be transparent. You know what I'm saying? Even the song I did with Shammy, what's that? What's the name of that song? Elevated. You know, that was more trappy.
Oh,
you know that song, right?
yeah.
Elevated.
Yeah. I didn't get to listen.
Sound.
You private all your videos. I didn't really get to listen to that much. I think I
you
listened
tried
to
that
it
verse
twice.
was crazy.
I think I listened to it
that
twice.
much.
Yeah.
But that verse was like, people really love that verse because like the flows I was doing in it, but that was still like a transparent verse. You know what I'm saying? So everything I do is gonna be honest. You know, even to a fault.
Okay. Somebody asked us in the chat, and it was one of the questions I also had. I kind of want to save it till we got a little towards the end.
Okay.
I want to ask Crook this first. After listening to the album, we're days removed from it at this point. Are there any? I don't want to use the word regrets. Is there anything you looked at the album and felt like there's room to improve on?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Hold up, you're gonna have to skip me, but I'll be like right back.
Okay.
Oh, this nigga here.
Okay.
He gotta go do something.
What about you, Raven?
What was the question again?
Is there
Why my fault?
like we're like at this point we're days removed from the album? Is there anything that you like listen to now? Because it's a lot different in the moment. Is there anything that you look at that you felt like you could have made an improvement somewhere? It doesn't even have to be like you making the beats. It could have just been like your input on something.
Yeah. In terms of improvement, just talking in terms of like the beats that I made, I think that the second half on 320
3200 Rosedale.
3200 Rosedale. 3200 Rosedale. The second half of that beat, I remember we ran through some problems with that because it.
Can I tell that story? Tell that story?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I got a fun story. So I'm gonna just tell the whole 3200 Rosedale story very quick, Satsuki, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So the first beat that I'm rapping on, right? It has a beat switch, but it's not the beat switch you hear. It's a completely different other beat. I don't even know what that. I don't even remember the beat, but I know it was a different beat. So I wrote to that part of. I wrote to both parts actually. Oh no. The first part was actually a beat switch from another beat that Raven made, the one that I'm rapping on.
Okay.
but I didn't really like what I wrote to that other beat. So I stopped writing to it. And then I wrote that verse I wrote for that. I wrote it. But I was like, damn, I don't know what else I want to do with this song. Cause it's like, I feel like at that point, like, I feel like we had like a lot of songs where I just had one verse. And I was like, damn, do I want to do like another just a one verse transparent track? So it was just kind of sitting there, like sitting to the side while we was making other songs. And I've been wanting to work with Deuce for a while, but we in two different worlds. Like he more upbeat, like he got bars in, like he's crazy, super crazy. But you know what I'm saying? Like he's more animated, more, you feel me? He has a different world. And I could step into that world, but that wasn't the world that was supposed to be on this album. So I was like, damn, I don't want to really bring him on. Like I didn't want to put him on a beat that I was on. You know what I'm saying? Like that beat, like I didn't want him on that beat.
Mm-hmm.
So when Raven sent me that beat, as soon as he sent it to me, because I always tell this, I was like, bro, whenever I find a beat that speaks to me about you, I'm gonna send it to you. And I told him that for like a year, maybe less. So when Raven sent me that beat, the first thing I thought of, I was like, oh, Deuce is on this. I didn't think about me at all. Like I wasn't even planning to write to that beat. I was like, oh, this is like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, this is for Deuce. I said that. So I was like, bro, just stick to the Boy to the Man title prompt. He sent the verse back, killed that shit. Every time somebody hear that verse, their head turned. So it was like, but the crazy part is, the way you hear that beat is not how it originally sounds. So I was with this photographer I was working with at the time when I was first started working on Boy to the Man. And we was driving in his car to go shoot some pictures. And he was playing some of his homies' music.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me why they was rapping over the 3200 Rosedale beat that Deuce was on.
Oh nah. That's crazy, nigga.
So I'm like, cause my whole thing with this album is like, we're not doing what I used to do, like getting beats off YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I want all these beats to be original. Like nobody in the world should have this. So like, man, it's crazy. So we riding, and I hear the beat, and I'm like, bro, this beat sounds familiar, and it's fucking with me. I'm like, bro, I feel like I heard this beat. I'm like, and I'm sitting there in the car. I'm like, my mind is racking, and and I'm like, this is on my album.
Nah.
And I was like, how the fuck you have this beat? I'm like, yo. So I'm like, and I'm tight at Raven. I'm like, yo, wait, Raven, where did you send me? My nigga, like, where did you? And then I let Raven finish the rest of the story from there.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the thing. That beat was supposed to be like I don't think that was one of the original beats you had like commissioned me for. It was like we just needed like some extra ones or something like that. And so you hit me up for an extra one. So I whipped that up in quick succession. And the thing is, there's this site on there's this site that a lot of producers use. It's called Splice. And it's caused a lot of that controversy. Like I remember a few years back there was a track from by 21 Savage. I forgot which track it was, but he got a beat from a producer, a well-known producer, that they pulled the sample from that site Splice, and they just like put some drums over on it. It's a common thing in the industry, like because those samples they're basically royalty free. They're for everybody to use. So if you fuck with it, you can use it. You know, that's a tip for anybody that if you want to make some beats, you know, you can go on Splice and get all the samples you need off of that site. So I had gotten the second half of 3200 Rosedale off of Splice. It was this sample that I thought was so clean. I was like, and I hadn't heard it before, so I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? We could maybe be the first people to use this. Maybe let's see if we could get the jump. Let me send it to Dustan, see if he fucks with it. The drums was hard. The drums was all original. That's all me. Mm-hmm. And then Dustan hits me back and he's like, "Oh, I heard this somewhere else, bro. What did you send me?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna think that I'm just like, you know, like copy pasting some shit and just send it to him for free, basically, like for money, so he could pay me quick." I was like, no, don't worry, bro. I'm because this is the thing. We did that on that other beat with the 15-year-old producer that Dustan was talking about from New Jersey, I think it was. Like we did that with her beat where we reconstructed her whole beat. Like she wasn't able to like send out the stems, so I was able to like reproduce the whole beat like from top to bottom, and
crazy.
And so I'm able to do that. So with that beat, yeah, we weren't able to use that original sample, but we were able to get something that was pretty close to it, like while still being different. So that's what we were able to do. But my regret is that with that beat, I think I could have made the sample a bit harder for sure. The
Mm.
drums were hard. I'm not gonna lie, the drums were hard, and the rap that's crazy. But I feel like I could have made the sample hit a bit harder, like the sample does in Baptized by Fire. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
love
feel
that.
like I could have made it hit a bit harder. But we're gonna work on that for sure.
Okay.
We're gonna definitely work on that for sure.
All right. What about you, Dustin? Anything that you look back on and feel like you regret, or you felt like I could have did better right here?
Um, um, not really, because I feel like we did what we wanted to do. Only thing is like I want to push the boundaries, but this project wasn't meant for that. So it's like I can't even say that's a regret because that's what wasn't what we trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we did what we wanted to do. I always sound though, like I feel like I want to get my sound even better. Like we're gonna work with this next album. We're gonna try a few different people to mix it to see if we like test out different sounds. But sound is always my thing to me because I know how I like music to sound, so I want to make sure my music is capturing that. But it's always harder to mix rap records versus singing vocals. You know what I'm saying? It's like easier for mixers to do make that shit sound more vibrant and polished versus you like you'll hear like go listen to a Benny the Butcher album and go listen to a Rihanna album. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll see a clear difference in mixing. But yeah, Nah, I'm interested in Crook and your answer. I want to hear your answer to that same question. And Crook back, I think.
Yeah, I'm here. Regrets. I don't think I have any regrets. I think the closest thing, I don't know. I don't think I have any regrets for real. Like everything kind of worked out the way I thought it would. I think, especially like sonically, like with the album itself, I'm very what's the word? I don't know. Confident. I'm very like I can rest assured that we exhausted all options. You know what I'm saying? So actually,
Yeah.
Well, I guess the last thing I would say is kind of like towards what Dustin was saying. I do kind of wish that we could have like tried more mixes or like try to find other people and see what that would have sounded like, because I do feel like there might have been like more that we could have gotten done, like if we if we could have listened to it a little longer. But I feel like that's like the thing that you're always gonna feel weird.
Yeah, we like in a little bit because we originally what we was gonna do with the next album, we wanted to do with this one, like have different people mix it, but we was kind of like in a bind and we was trying to get this shit done. But this next time, like we already got now, and we didn't really like we didn't have nobody like we think that we could even fuck with. But now we got like a couple different options, and I'm gonna start mixing and mingling more this year and try to start doing some open mics and shit. So we'll find some more people too. But what's your things you think should be improved?
See, I feel like I had to listen to the album a lot more times because I didn't get to sit on it as much as y'all. Because for me, I gotta listen to a song over and over and over and over and over to really get a feel for everything. Like I can just give you like my
first listen review.
Yeah, like surface level type of opinions on it, but I don't think that's really gonna hold weight because I think I hit you one time randomly and I was like, yo, demon fighting is way better than what I initially thought. Because I listened to it a lot of times the first time you dropped it, maybe like a dozen times, and it wasn't until like maybe 2 years later that I revisited I revisited Demon Fighting, and I was like, I don't know why, I don't know if it's because I'm 2 years older or whatever, but I feel a lot different about this album than I did before. And, it's a lot of different factors, mood, age, whatever. So I want to sit on this album before I say something like that because I think I think that's like a big thing that you have to reflect on,
Yeah, I respect it.
I think it was some big question I wanted to ask, but now I forgot. I hate when
Crazy
I should have wrote a lot of this shit down, but
question.
okay. I still got some stuff. So what's the next step as far as music going forward with all of y'all? Because you say you already have like a project in mind.
Well, Raven is a singer, really dope singer. I'm waiting on his project to drop. We waiting on
Facts.
and shit, I'm just I don't, to be honest with you, bro, I have no idea. And it's kind of scary to me. Cause like with Boy to the Man, I've had this shit planned, everything around it planned. You see how the rollout came and everything was planned.
Mm-hmm.
After this point, I have no idea. You feel me? Now it's like cause I don't know Crook, remember like Crook, it's the way I want to do this, I'm gonna do it this way. After this, after we do it this way, the next way is your way. Like I'm open. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like we want to do more different genres on the next album. I'm gonna start putting myself out there more. I'm gonna start going to open mics. I'm gonna start going to these like music events. I went to one this past Sunday and just start, slowly ingratiating myself in the community. I'm gonna start doing volunteer work and shit too, just for my personal life. But as far as music, yeah, we just want to grow, and I want the next record to be more vibey, like where you can really just vibe to it. Be like, it's more songs. Like this album was rap songs, but I want it to be like less rapping and more of just like we got some singers we're gonna try to work with. Try to get in contact with some different artists and just bring a different think about it like when you heard Yeezus, you know what I'm saying? Like when you heard Yeezus, you're like, oh, this is different from whatever Kanye's done before. Like, I feel like I tell Crook, like we make a Boy to the Man Part 2 and just like the way the album is, then we failed. Like I don't want to make another album like that. Like that don't even sound exciting to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let me just go make another 10-pack of personal songs about my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to broaden the scope with the sound and shit. It's still gonna be a personal album because that's just who I am, but it's just gonna be like, I want niggas to dance. You know what I'm saying? I want bitches to dance. But I still want it to be Dustin. You know what I'm saying? Like Dustin.
When do you think you're gonna take on performing these tracks?
This year. I mean, well, maybe the end of this year. But definitely 2023. I'm gonna get on a stage somewhere. Because I went to this event. It's called what's it called? Something Good or Something Dope?
That good shit.
No. That's your shit. That's the one that you. Oh. It's another one I went to.
Oh yeah, the other one you went.
Yeah, Something Dope. And I could have performed there, but I chose not to. But I think the next time they do one, I think I don't know when the next one is, but the next time they do one, I'm gonna put in to perform, and I'm gonna talk to Crook and see which, because I think on that one you can only do one song. Like you got 4-minute time limit, but you only can do one song. So it's like, I'll just probably do like Death's Door or Outcast or something. But yeah, I do want to start doing. Cause to be honest with you, bro, I don't care about performing. But I know it's something that you can't cheat. You got to do it. But I honestly like I said, the thing I like most about music is writing it. Like I have no interest really in performing, but I know I have to. And maybe my opinion will change when I actually do it. Like maybe I'll love it. You know what I'm saying? But like going into it, like I never really cared about it.
I think I remember the question I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Do you think like now in your career of rapping and shit, do you think how has music changed for you as far as like listening to it? Because I think things like when you see things from a different perspective, like you're actually making the music, you hear music a lot differently than when you were just listening to it and you didn't really have a perspective. Like, do you like listen to music differently now?
Oh yeah, Ben definitely. Like nigga, I be trying to find niggas punch ins. You say, oh yeah, he punched in right here.
Yeah,
oh, she punched in right. Oh yeah, I can hear the like before I wouldn't even notice that shit. It was like, oh yeah, that's a punch in, that's a punch in, that's a punch in. Like damn, they punched in a lot on this one. Oh, it was like damn. or I like it when like I know it's a punch in, but it's done so well that like I almost didn't know that was a punch in. But but it's not like it's not done bad. But then I hate the punch ins. It was like, damn, nigga, literally just like boom, like you just. I hate when I think it was somebody. I think Jay-Z did it. Not Jay-Z. Jay-Z never punches in. I don't know why I said that, but somebody did a verse like that where it was like every shit was punch. You could tell like just drastic. Or it might have been Kanye. It was like one of his newer songs.
I think that's becoming more of a style now.
Punching in.
Yeah.
Oh, and the baby. I hate when
Yeah,
baby does it so
G
crazy.
Herbo.
Yeah, like, it's like, bro, it's another you know what I'm saying? It's like a whole like I hate when it sounds like it's one verse, but it sounds like a whole different tone shift. Like, but it's like not, you know, it's not it's not supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird. Like
and the words running into each other.
It'll just overlap. Like I started noticing it a lot. A lot of songs are like that now.
Mm-hmm.
But what about you, Crook? Did this experience kind of change how you listen to music now?
Did this change how? I don't think so, actually. I mean, what I will say, and I don't know if it's just life or whatever, but I do listen to music less now. Specifically, like, even like unless it's like something that I really, really like, or it's more so like things that are like really surprising. Like there's sometimes where it's like it'll be an artist that it's like I know I would like this project, or like I still haven't listened to Joey Badass. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like him, but I don't be feeling like, unless I'm gonna be like really interested or something, I'm not as ready to listen to music. And I feel like that came through this process, because I definitely get like not fatigue, but it's just like I feel like now if I'm listening to something I really want to know, I'm gonna enjoy.
Okay.
I barely listen to rap anymore, bro. Like I listen to R&B like, solely. Like it gotta be like the Pusha T album I really fuck with, Action Bronson album I really fuck with. I wasn't feeling that new West Side Gun album that dropped today.
Right.
But
you gotta listen to the Conway one.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that? I told you, bro. I was telling Crook, I've been waiting for this because Conway was dropped that album like 2 years ago. I've been waiting for this nigga. I've been like, bro, I cannot wait for God Don't Make Mistakes. I can't wait for God Don't Make Mistakes. Then the nigga finally drops the album and I never listened to it.
That's crazy.
And I've been anticipating that fucking album, nigga, for 2 years. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the ones this year. It's a lot of stuff I got to listen to, but that's up there. Raven, I feel like this is a definite, but I still got to ask, like, do you?
Yeah.
Because you produce music, do you listen to music differently?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm in the same boat as Crook, where I listen to music a lot less than I used to before I started producing like heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now I listen to music when an artist reaches out to me and they need a specific type of style. Like then I'll start listening to like whatever needs to be listened to, like whether it's rap, whether it's R&B, even freaking if I'm working with like a younger artist and they want to do something K-pop inspired, because that's apparently a big thing now. I had to stomach it. I had to listen to some K-pop. I had to do what I do. I had to, I got to do what I got to do. It's part of the job. So I'll listen to anything. You know what I'm saying? I'll look crazy on the train, bumping my headphones, and you'll hear freaking "I'm a Barbie Girl" coming out of my headphones. But it's got to be done in order to get in the zone for which artist I'm producing for. Right now, I'm listening to a lot of J. Cole. I'm listening to a lot of the off season, because I like that sound. So I'm trying to see if I could pull that sound for some of the next projects I'm working on, and
he has some really good sounds on that album.
yeah. I like the way that J. Cole does his samples and all that. So I'm a big fan of J. Cole. So I definitely, I'm looking at that right now closely. So yeah, that's the way it's changed the way I look at music. I mean, in terms of my music myself, like I'm just, like I said, this project helped me a lot, like perfect my craft as a producer. So I feel like it made me better as an artist too. So it's making me excited for for a comeback too, and yeah, man, it was a season of growth, definitely, for sure.
You
Okay.
fucking reach, nigga.
Talk about you. I gotta get a retwist at some point, man. My shit is already like it's been like afroed out. It's not looking too good. That's why I always gotta wear a bandana or something.
Oh, okay. I wish I could. I feel like I can't pull off a bandana.
I got to. I got to at this point.
Whatever. It's not dread talk.
So this is unrelated to the album, but this is more like a future thing. I wanna ask Crook this first, because I think he'll give me like the most unique thing because of his position, executive producing. If there was somebody, one artist, you can executive produce for, who would that be, and why? It can even be like something specific, like a project that already came out.
What'd you say, Dustin?
You cutting out, Dustin.
I said, are you gonna ask all of us the same question?
Yeah, but in y'all respective roles, like you as an artist, who would you want to rap with, make a song with, whatever,
Yeah, but I'm gonna answer the executive producer question too, because I got an artist that I would executive produce the album.
I feel like I know.
Okay.
You know exactly.
But for me, right? See that there's like a lot of people who I'd want to work like with, in the sense that I'm like, there's a lot of people, right? Like my industry answer, if I ever had to answer this like on a publication, and I was like, oh, my dream person, I'll probably say Kendrick, in a sense, because I feel like, I don't know if it's him, I don't know if it's crew, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, it's almost like sometimes I'd be like, you shouldn't be that creative. And it's not to say that I like every idea or that everything is perfect or everything. Like sometimes like there are a lot of things that I'd be like, I'm not feeling it at all. But sometimes I'm just like, how did y'all niggas come up with that idea? How did y'all come up with that face switching thing for the Heart Part 5? Like who sat and thought about that? And you know what I'm saying? There'd be sometimes where I would just be frustrated in that regard. So I would like to sit in on that, and I feel like that would help me in terms of developing your conceptual, like what you think, how you think of music. But realistically, who I would want to executive produce is either Chance or Big Mensa. One of those two. Because I'm like, both of y'all, like y'all fumble your own music so bad. I won't say so bad because that's kind of disrespectful, but I be feeling like y'all are missing a mark, like in terms of your person. I don't know if it's like resources or time or drama or whatever, but I'm like, if I sat down with both of them, I feel like I could get them at least one of their best projects in a while.
The Chance one is an interesting one. I like that answer. I don't really listen to Vic like that, but Chance, yeah.
Big Mensa, he raw. When he get into a certain bag, he raw.
I gotta listen to him. Well, Raven left, so I guess the question, you wanted to answer the executive producer question. So, what would that be for you, or who would that artist be for you, Dustin?
Nicki fucking Minaj. Give me Nicki Minaj.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Dreezy.
Huh?
I thought he was gonna say Dreezy.
Oh hell no, Dreezy raw. I mean, Nicki raw too. That's crazy. I'm not saying she's not raw, but oh yeah, I do know why you say that. Because I didn't really like that EP she put out. That was like the one with Chanel Slides on it, even though Chanel Slides is fucking phenomenal. But Nicki Minaj, bro, like, and Crook would have to be with me.
That's a good shot though.
Like, bro, I feel like if I executive produced Nicki Minaj's next project, bro, it would be a fucking classic. It'd be a fucking classic. I feel like she just needs the direction, bro. Like if I directed, like, cause I feel like Nicki Minaj got such a story to tell that she doesn't tell. You know what I'm saying?
She got the talent.
Yeah, we got the talent. Yeah, the people that we say we gonna like, yeah, Chance and Big Mensa, they not lacking the talent. They ain't lacking the talent. It's just like, nigga, you just need that direction. You feel me? Like, there's people with less talent than you making better albums than you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the crazy part, right?
It's like, so what's
Just
going on?
sometimes I hear Nicki and I'm just like even in some of her like pop record type, and I'm just like, damn, that's a good idea. Like, just the hook of it, or like I remember the first time I heard the Chun Li record, I was like, damn, this is hard. But what was the other one that niggas was remixing?
The one I liked a lot was Yikes.
Yikes, that's what I was thinking about too. I'm like, that's just like it's in there. Like there's in there. Like that brain is in there, but somehow we get the album and it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if Raven is still with us or I guess you can go for the more the artist perspective, yeah.
Willow Smith.
I think no. I feel like I heard you say Jaden Smith before. It's like someone you really listen to, but I never heard Willow Smith.
Oh no, her second album is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Damn.
Yeah, the one that got that obnoxious ass name that I don't even know how to pronounce that shit. But yeah, Willow Smith, I still haven't listened to her new album she just dropped. I need to get on that. But I love Willow. She's criminally underrated. Like she's a artist in every sense of the fucking word. Like Willow Smith is super, super dope. She used to be washing the shit out of Jaden back in the day when they used to work on songs together. And then he got better. And it balanced out. But Willow is she's just another level. And I feel like she does it so effortlessly. And she's like one of those artists like Andre that like they're like really artists. Like they're weird people. You know what I'm saying? Like they be on some weird shit.
Very eccentric. Yeah.
Yeah, like they it's like, very different. But yeah, I would love to I want to make I have a whole album that I've been thinking about like around the same time I thought about Boy to Man, like a collab album with Willow Smith is gonna be called Man and Woman. Like, and we talk about like the perspectives of men and like women, how we both view each other and shit. Like I want to make like a 5-song, like 50-minute album with her. That's like a dream. Like if I do that, God, boy, you can't tell me God is real. If that happens one day, I'll be like, yo, that's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raven.
Yeah, that's my show.
Yeah, I'm back. My fault. My phone bugged out for a bit, but yeah, some artists I want to work with. Damn, say in the rap sphere, Kendrick. I would love to produce for Kendrick Lamar. I would love to produce for 21 Savage. I love what he's doing. I like Kodak Black. I like what he's doing too. You know what I'm saying? I like his bar. I used to survive off a tuna pack. I can relate to that a lot. Ever since then, I always ride with Kodak Black. So I like them. In terms of the like pop sphere, man, I love so many different genres. So there's so many different artists. Like I would also love to produce for like some pop artists, like The Weeknd, Dua Lipa. I like what she's doing too. There's different types of music. Even some Japanese artists. I like Yao Sobi. That duo that they be doing the anime openings.
Mm-hmm.
They come out with like more computerized music. They don't come out with rock. They come out with more like piano sample type pop, which I like. Ama, Yama, she's also dope. She did the ending for Spy X Family season 2. She's dope. That dude that just did the Chainsaw Man episode 1, Tenshi Ono or something like that. He's dope. I'll work with anybody, man. Even some K-pop artists. You know what I'm saying? I'll produce for Twice. I'll do it.
Okay.
It has to be done. I love me some of that Me Likey, whatever. That bubblegum pop. I'll do anything, bro. I love music. You know what I'm saying? So anything that's gonna push me, I'll do. I'm all about that production game. Anything that's gonna push me to grow. And yeah, those are just some of the artists I would love to work with, bro.
Okay.
Sure.
So, getting to the end now. So, what is your overall thoughts on the album as far as everything? As far as the process of it, the reception of it, everything.
I feel like the process was very, very valuable. And I feel like we're going to know how valuable it is when we start the next process. The reception, I feel like was what we wanted. Everybody pretty much is Either they like it, they think it's good, or they think it's great. So that's that's what I kind of wanted. But we wanted more impact. Like we wanted to go. Me personally, I wanted to go to like I wanted to be all right, nigga. Now I wanted to go to the league. You feel me? Like I'm trying to get that call up to the league. That's what I want. So it's like, and I thought I had a way. So now it's like I'm really just like, all right. So we'll see what doors God's gonna open. But I'm happy with it though. I'm happy with I'm happy that it's out. I'm happy that it's like a burden off my shoulders. Like, all right, the album it's out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's done. It's not my album no more. It's it's the world. People who listen to it. It's for them to take with it, and just seeing people's reaction. And one thing I really like is that how like everybody has a different favorite song, and I feel like that's a measure of a good album. Like some people like this, like it's like I'm hearing a lot of different responses. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but put more respect on Summer Leave, though, you niggas out there. That's a hard ass motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm surprised. That's the one that I don't hear a lot of. I'm like, what? That's...
from the beat. When Raven sent that beat, I was like, yo, this nigga Raven is different. I'm like, this different, bro. Like, yo, this is like to me, I feel like that's like a beat. I always say I feel like that's a beat that I feel like Drake would pick for his outro of his album, like the way that beat sounds. So I was like, yo, for me to have a beat like that, that's like a steal. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say Raven didn't help us with this album. He saved us with this album because his production on there is like really legit. You know what I'm saying? It's legit. And it pushed me, you know what I'm saying? It pushed Crook, to what we wanted to do. Because I always say this, because I remember when, I don't know about Crook. Can I tell a story about how you felt about Raven at first?
Sure.
He said, sure. I don't know what to think about to say.
Sure.
But like, because when I first brought Raven to Crook, I was like real high on Ray. I'm like, bro, Raven is really dope. He's crazy. Like, he makes this type of music, but he can make all these different types of beats, and that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you can make all these different types of beats, but when you go to your own music, it's like completely different from all the shit that you can do, like producing wise. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's really fucking crazy. And I kept like, bro, I'm finna go get Raven. And Raven, I mean, Crook thought Raven could make beats, obviously. And he likes Raven's music, too. He's already fucking with his music before he knew he produced. So he was like, yeah, he's cool or whatever. But I was really pushing, like, bro, we need to get some Raven beats. And then I forgot what beat it was, but it was some beat that he got from Raven. And he was like, oh, yeah, you're right. This nigga is, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I forgot what it was. And it's a track that Crook really wanted on this album, and we never completed it. He really loves that fucking song. I don't need, yeah.
Yeah.
He really
couldn't even figure it out. We couldn't even figure it out, like how we was gonna because we wanted to change it, but we didn't know how we was gonna change it.
Yeah, you really just like that refrain that I do on there. You like that a lot, and the beat. And Raven produced that song too.
Yeah, the beat was hard.
Yeah, the beat was hard. So yeah, who knows? We may drop it as a Lucy one day if we ever could get it right or revisit it. But yeah. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I feel like it shows my, I feel like it's a great starting point. Like, I feel like it's like my official starting point. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's only up from here. Like, I'm thinking like the next album, we wanted to be way better, way different, and just crazy growth. I already feel like the shit that I've been writing lately, I feel like has been a step up. Like the shit I've been writing lately. So I ain't been doing much, but like the past couple verses I wrote, I feel like they were really kind of different. So yeah.
All right. What about you, Raven? Like, how do you feel about the album as a whole, process, reception, everything it encompasses?
Yeah, I think I saw one comment that was like, "Yo, as soon as the last 3 songs hit, I just felt like it was a zone, like it like Dustin just entered the zone." I remember I saw that comment and I was like, "Damn, like." People are really seeing like what we were doing, and they're really fucking with it. They're really getting into the album. Like I feel like overall with the album, I'm happy. I'm happy to have produced with all these other talented producers. I'm happy that because I know how much Dustin wanted this to like come to pass, this vision. I'm happy that it actually did come to pass. Where we have this album that we can listen to and vibe with and everything, and I think it's only gonna get more exposure from here. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it's just gonna be there for years to come, and people could always come back and listen to that and see that as like the initial point of a journey. And I think I'm happy that I was part of that step of the journey. I loved the growth that came from it. I love the passion that was put into this project. It wasn't something that we just like put together just because we wanted to put together, just because Dustin just one day thought that, oh yeah, I'm gonna just spit some bars, fuck it. It's just like, everybody on this project had passion for it. From Chancel V to Chevy. I remember Chevy, he produced Amara. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? The 15-year-old girl, you could tell there was so much passion in that initial WAV file, that the MP3 file that Dustin sent me, that she produced. She did it all from a phone. So this is literally this is a collaborative work. It took a lot of people to make this work. Shout out to whoever it was that mixed and mastered the project too. They did
Oh
a hell
yeah,
of
my
a
boy
job.
Bill. Yeah, shout out to Bill, man.
Yeah, 'cause that shit sounds industry ready. It sounds radio ready. You could play this shit in your car. It sounds just as good as it would on your headphones or at home. And I'm happy that we came out with this project, and I'm just excited for the next project, man. I'm just excited to take these next steps and see where we go from here, because it looks like people really fuck with this project and what we did here.
Okay. Crook, how do you feel about the
Mhm.
album in its totality, with the reception, with what the work you put in, everything?
Uh, I feel good, man. I feel like we hit our mark. I think that, you know, looking back on it, I'm happy that, like, when we first started, I used to feel like I was like, man, am I gonna like miss something, or like is there gonna be like the album gonna come out and I'm be like, oh no, we should have went with this, or we should have took this off or left this on, or But I feel like a week after it came out, I'm pretty good. I'm like, we did what we were supposed to do. I think that we are, it's like night, all three of us is night and day with how we started this album versus how we are now. So I feel like we've kind of created the platform to make more music together and go into I don't know, a little more, like, be a little more adventurous with the songwriting and with the beats and the direction altogether. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's it. I think the only, I don't say a disappointment, but I feel like I do feel like I don't know. I feel like I kind of wish there was like a way to hear more thoughts, because I feel like I've yet to really hear like a negative or like something that people don't like, and that makes me feel like people don't really have, like, aren't as engaged. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want to hear like the thing that we didn't think, or like, you know what I'm saying? Because this isn't a 10 out of 10, right? So
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I still want to know, because I still listen to the album now and I enjoy it. So it's like I know, and that's how I knew throughout this whole process that I was like, all right, we're not dropping trash, but I want to know what we got to work on. You know?
Yeah, yeah, and
I think
that's
that's
where
my
you.
bad. Cut you off. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's why I didn't want to. Going back to one of the questions, that's why I didn't want to really give like a reflective take on it too much, because I didn't really get to a chance to listen to it enough to properly digest everything that was being said in it, and especially with a album like this that's more personal than your average album. I feel like to give it its fair like criticism or anything like that, I have to really listen to it. Because you can listen to something a million times and not really take in anything.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to say,
Yeah,
Dustin?
I still got people hitting me up like now, telling me like, oh, they still listening to it. That's one thing too. Like, I like, one thing I meant to say too is my big thing about this was replay value, because I'm the type of person that loves to re-listen to songs. Like, I'll listen to the same song for a week if I really fuck with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so to hear quite a few people say that they can replay this, like, some people was mad that it was. I think some people are mad that it was short, or some of the songs were shorter, or like one verse. But then they said one person was telling me like they were mad at that, but they actually like they liked it because it made a lot of the songs like replayable. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like it got a lot of replay value. I didn't want to put something out that's just like so personal, but you can't listen to it again. Like I still wanted you to be able to enjoy it. Like that's why we got the couple hooks on there, a couple songs and different shit. And that's why it's so short. Cause I'm not a fan of I'm never gonna drop an 18 song album. Like that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like 16 is max, and I still feel like if I do a 16 song album, that has to be some of the best songs I ever made in my life for me to do that many songs. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like, but yeah, I just feel like we just gotta show our artistry on the next project. Like, all right, now I can rap. Now you can't say I can't rap. That's kind of like the point of the album too for me. So it's like, okay, now all right, nigga, you can rap, but a lot of niggas can rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now it's like about finding my true sound and separating myself and standing out and really finding out who I am as an artist. Like, that's what I want to do with this next project. So yeah, the man is out now. Go stream that shit.
For sure.
The only time I'm gonna say that.
For sure. We need that needs to hit 1K. That needs to hit 1K.
Yeah.
The last time I checked it was around like 500 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it will because Dustin Saves hit like 1K like after like close to a year or something. Oh no, it's still in the same year I dropped it. So it hit like after like a few months. Yeah. And it's still getting viewed. Like it's like halfway to 2K. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
To me, I'll be happy with 1K. Like if it got to 1K, I'll be like, okay, that's cool. I feel like 1K just looks nice. It just looks nice.
1K on that too is different than the Dustin Saves thing because like it's an album,
Yeah.
So it's like more people are engaged with it.
Yeah, that'll be dope. But I'm just happy, shit gonna come. We got more work to do, and all that shit gonna come, when it's supposed to come,
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, I think that is about everything I want to say. Unless y'all want to mention anything before we head out. Final words. Anything y'all want to say to the chat?
Hosting this, my nigga.
Huh?
I asked you. I said thank you for hosting it. I asked you because I was like, if there's one person I wanted to talk about the album with, like, you know what I'm saying? It would be like, even if I blew up tomorrow and we get like doing mad interviews and shit, like I feel like I want to talk to Satsuki because I feel like he's gonna ask real important questions and it's gonna be like somebody actually cares about music and like my music in a sense. So you did exactly what I hoped you would do. Like I didn't brief you and say, ask me this, ask me that. No, I just said, you do it, and then you came and you did it. So appreciate that, my nigga.
Always.
Now you got your PS5, B. I know you want to get back to that.
It's a long time. I didn't think I was gonna get this shit at all. I was gonna get this shit at all. But I like all the answers y'all gave. I hope this did a lot for people as far as learning about the process of this and maybe just some things outside in general, like learning some of the things that goes into a project like this. Because I think a lot of people just take it as like an artist is doing it by theirself, but there's a lot of different things you have to navigate, people you have to talk to, and it takes a collaborative effort. And I think y'all boys did a good job with this one. So moving forward, only thing that's left is to top this.
Yeah,
that's it. Yes, sir.
Yep,
it's a fact.
Imagine we peaked.
Oh no. Nah. You don't never want to peak. You don't never want to peak.
That'd be sad.
But
yeah.
Any final words from anybody? Crook, Raven, Dustin.
No, I'm straight.
We're gonna make a K-pop. We're gonna make a K-pop album.
Listen.
Hey yo.
Get to it.
Nah, you got me fucked up, nigga.
Hey yo.
Hey, listen.
Y'all.